Hello everyone, welcome to On Board. My name is Varsha Dhiman, and in this particular session, we are going to discuss about management-related descriptive question. So the aspirants who are in the class, please let me know that my voice is clearly audible to everyone and the screen is clearly visible to you guys. See, we know that management is a very important portion whenever we prepare for RBI Grade B examination. And in your phase 2 examination, you will have to face the questions from the objective section and in the descriptive section as well. Okay. And the question level of the questions and the type of questions, you should be very aware about this particular thing so that you will be capable of facing the questions and attempting the questions so that you will get good marks in the question, right? So with that thought in mind, I had arranged specific sessions for you guys in which we are doing the descriptive answer writing practice. Okay. So let's start our discussion. Yeah, let's continue further. We will discuss a very interesting and very important question. We'll discuss how you can frame a good answer for the question. What are the different steps that you have to keep in your mind while framing your answers for the management portion especially. Right. So let's start our discussion. Let's continue further. Here we go. See, firstly, it's a request, aspirants. If you have not installed the application of Oliboard, install it first and start your preparations with us. Okay. Yeah. Prashant is asking where paper kab hoga. See, soon after we can show that your RBI notification will be released. Okay. And अगर हम previous year के patterns को देखें तो we took specific sessions to tell you कि अभी आपका phase 1 and phase 2 examination कब हो सकता है तो कुछ sessions available हैं on our YouTube channel. You can take the help of those sessions to know about the notification phase 1 and the phase 2. Okay. Yeah, very good evening Shilpi, very good evening to everyone. Okay, and these are the batches available on the application of Oliboard. Okay, आपकी preparation के according आपको जो भी batch suitable लगे आप उसमें enroll करके you can start your preparations with us. Okay. So today question is of very different type. It's not a direct to hit question. There are certain questions in the management like they can ask you about the leadership style. Okay, these are the direct theory based questions. You just have to revise the theory portion and you will be able to answer a good, you will be able to frame a good answer as per the questions demand, right? Similarly, you have the questions from the motivation part. They are also very direct questions. They are questions from corporate governance, direct questions. But some portion of management will like present you with some different type of questions that needs a good concept knowledge. Okay, so this is one of the type. Okay, so here the question is, why is change resisted in an organization? Not in an organization, at our homes also. For example, you as a young member of the family, you had introduced an electronic advanced gadget at your home. What will happen? The older members or the elder members of the family, they will resist it because they are not so techno-friendly. They will start opposing your decision that this particular device or a gadget is not so friendly. We are not interested in working with this and that. Okay, because we don't want to change our pattern, because we don't want to learn new skills. Generally, this is the thing happen. Na? That's the reason we start resisting it. So initially at the initial stages, it is quite easy to resist it. Okay, but if we introduce something in the organization or in our homes by creating a foundation first, like telling them about the features of the gadget so that they will start feeling familiar with the new thing that is about to introduce. So that time the change resistance will decrease. Okay, this is a way to decrease the resistance of a change. Okay, by telling all the people about a certain thing that is about to happen in the coming time so that the people will start feeling familiar with it and they will not resist it more. Got it? Next is, what are the managements do to overcome it? So there, whenever we talk about an organization, there comes two types of resistance. One comes from the individuals and another comes from the group. So to manage, to overcome the resistance that is offered by, that is coming from the individual, we need to focus on different type of techniques And to manage the resistance that is coming from the group, we need to focus on different type of strategies. Okay, so this question is all about that. We have to discuss about all these things in detail here. Yeah, now the concept is clear that what we are going to discuss here. Please give me a thumbs up wherever you feel like that something is not clear to you. Please mention in the comment box. I'm looking for your comments. Okay, and if all the things go well, please mention the thumbs up in the comment box as well. Okay, now moving further, let's start how we can write a good answer for the question. Why is change resisted in our organization? So the better one, the best way to start our answer is to by following all these steps. So these are certain steps that you have to follow while answering, while framing a good answer for the question. Firstly, you need to write a definition. That is the introduction. In introduction, you will mention about the organizational change, organizational behavior. What is it? It's a behavior of all the individuals who are working in an organization. Organizational change to make the things work smoothly, to introduce any new technology in the system so that work will be more productive and you will get more efficient result. Okay, so that's why change is introduced. Okay, so firstly you have to define it. Then you will tell there are two types of resistances that are offered in an organization. One resistance is offered by individuals and another one is offered by organization or the group. Like most of the individuals in the organization, they will start resisting it because they are not liking the new pattern. Because new pattern need new skills. And it happens with us as a human that we are so lazy that we always try to hold on the things that are around us. We don't want to move further. Is it so? Whenever we get an opportunity to stay at one place, to stay in our hometown for a specific job, okay, getting a good package, but in another city, you are getting a better package, better salary package or the living standard, but you feel like remaining in your hometown is a good decision for some individuals. Okay, that means you are resisting a change here. You're not allowing you to shift to another city because you're feeling like your comfort zone matters a lot for you. Okay, so always try to relate the question with real time experiences. Okay, whenever you write a good example with your answer, that will definitely help you to get good marks in the question. Thumbs up. Is it clear? Okay. So this is a question you have to frame an answer for 15 marks. So your word limit should be 600 words here, right? So you need to mention the resistance by the individuals or resistance by the organization. Okay. After that, how you can manage the resistance that is offered by an individual and how you can manage the resistance that is offered by a group. And at the end, you need to summarize your answer in one or two sentences that will form your conclusion. Okay? Is the question clear to everyone? Give me a thumbs up, aspirants, and like the session as well. Okay? So that's how you have to frame a good answer for the question. Now let's start writing our answer here. So firstly, yeah, change is a constant force. Okay, change is always needed. If we are rejecting it, if we are not accepting the change that is needed in the organization, that means we are not towards the growth side. Okay, if we want that an organization have to grow, an organization have to excel in the task that is like assigned to the different group members there. Okay, there is always a space for change. Okay, change is a constant force that shapes the trajectory of organizations, industries, and societies. Okay, change are everywhere needed. Change are needed everywhere. Okay, if you want that organization have to grow further, you need to work upon the skills of the individual, train them about the new techniques or about aware them about the new gadgets, right? Now, yet despite its inevitability, change is often met with resistance within organizational context. Okay, yeah, it is something that is very much needed. But still, when it comes to an organization, the individuals who are working there, the employees of an organization, initially they will start resisting it because nobody want to move out of their comfort zone. So that's why they will start resisting the change. Okay, and their resistance can stem from a variety of factors and psychological reactions that individuals experience when faced with the prospect of change. Recognizing these barriers. So it is on the organization when they will start knowing that the individuals or the members of the organization they start resisting the change. Now the organization need to recognize the barriers, like what are the points that where we are lacking, recognizing the barriers, understanding how management can address them, like how we can address these changes. It's very essential for navigating successful transition and fostering a culture of adaptability. So that's how it will help in developing a culture of adaptability, like accepting the changes and start moving with the changed scenarios. Okay, so this is a introduction. What is it? It is an introduction for this question. Now moving further, after writing a good introduction, where you will move, you will start mentioning about the reasons for the resistance to change are as follows. Why is change resisted in an organization? So they're asking why. So you have to mention the reason why it is resisted. So there are different reasons for the resistance to change, and the reasons are at two levels. One is at the individual resistance, and second is the organizational resistance to change. Okay, one is the individual resistance to change, and another is the organizational resistance to change. Now, let's talk about the individual. So, what are the reasons that the individual will start resisting when anything new is introduced? First is economic factors. See, everyone wants to be in a job, like everyone wants a job stability. Okay, everyone knows that job is very important that because it becomes a part or very important component for the survival of the life. So these factors relate to the basic economic needs of the workers, like necessities of life, job security, and safety. Okay, so these factors are, so one is the economic factor. So like you want to be in the job for long, so you will start resisting anything new because you have a fear in your mind that if you will not learn the new skill, they will replace you. You will have a job insecurity, skill obsolescence. New technology is expected to reduce the proportion of labor input, and therefore people resist as a change as it will affect the security of their job. Okay, they know that when suppose in an organization, when they are introducing any new gadget or any new application or a software, they know that the individuals who are of um, like age group from 45 to 55, they are not so techno friendly. They might, because of the technology, they might have to lose their job. Okay, so with that thought in mind that this new technology is not their cup of tea, they will start resisting the change so that the technology will not replace them. This is one of the reason at the individual level to resist the change. Another one is workers may fear that they will be demoted if they do not acquire the skills required for the new jobs. Always the individuals who are not so well educated or not have acquired any such advanced skill, they have a fear that if they will not be able to cope up with the new technology that is introduced, they are about to lose their job in future. So with that scenario in their mind, they will start resisting the change from the very beginning so that the change will not enter into the system. Okay, so this is another reason under the economic factors. Another one is psychological factor. It's our psychology now that when workers perceive that factors relating to their psychological needs will be affected adversely by the proposed change. For example, you are working for a 9 to 5 job. You know that this is the first thing that you have to do after visiting the office, and then this, that, or that. So then you know that in the cumulative time of 8 or 9 hours, you are doing this particular work. But your higher management had decided to introduce some softwares where you have to mention your quality work on regular basis, like how much quality work you had performed today, what new skills you had introduced today, and you have to submit a specific sheet on regular basis. As a person who is so lethargic, who is very pessimistic and not interested in doing work, he will think that now the boss will have a surveillance on him. Now he will be able to know that I'm not doing anything. Okay, so to like not come into the frame of the boss, he will start resisting the change that this particular thing is not good and all, and he will also start making groups with the people who are of having the same mindset. Okay, so that there will be a good force to resist the change that is coming forward. Okay, so the psychological factors are workers may resist the change because they don't want to take trouble in learning new things. They are liking their monotonous routine. They don't want to learn any new skill. Workers may not know about the entire change, or they may be incapable of understanding the implications of new ideas or method. Sometimes it happens that you, as just a part of the organization, you are just aware about a thing which is related to you. You are not aware about the complete purpose or the complete information about a specific change. So that is also a reason that you start resisting it. Okay, for example, you are in a family gathering and they are thinking about a specific function. Okay, but as you were not available during the whole time of meeting of 3 or 4 hours, you just entered in the hall of your house at the end of the meeting and at the end of the gathering, and you just get the crux of the gathering. Okay, you will start resisting it in the beginning, but when you will know the complete information about the specific gathering, then you will start accepting it. So that might be a reason. Okay, that might be the reason that the individual resist the change in the beginning. Okay, another is a social factor. So, what comes under the social factor? Individuals do have certain social needs, like everyone wants the people around them to be connected with them, friendship, belongingness, for the fulfillment of informal relations in the organization. Like you have to share what is going on in the organization with you and your friends. So, for that, what you need certain individuals with you all the time. So they become members of certain groups and act as members of the group to resist change. Okay. So yeah, so during that time, you will become the member of the group who are also not interested in accepting the change, and that's how you will become a member of the group. Because for it happens, for example, your friend don't like something, but you are of a neutral mindset. But as you want to maintain a good relationship with your friends, you will start opposing it. Is it happens with you also? Okay, you are aware about all the ideas and you are having a neutral opinion, not in a positive or a negative sense, but your friend is not liking the specific procedure that is going on in front of you. And after looking at you, or after getting a common conversation in between, you will start favoring the opinion of your friend because you want to maintain a good relationship with your friend. You can't go against him. So this is also a reason, like a social factor or social acceptance. Okay, that is also a reason for resisting the change in an organization. Okay, so this is all about the individual level changes. Now moving forward, let's talk about the organizational resistance to change. Yeah, I'll start a discussion about this particular thing, but before that, I want everyone to affirm that the things are clear in your mind now, and you are aware about the examples that I am giving related to the topic that we are discussing now. Yeah, I'm waiting for 1 minute to see your response. Is the things clear to you, aspirants? Say yes or no in the comment box. All right, let's move further. So here we have to start our discussion. Okay, Raj, Shilpi, thank you for telling. Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's start related to the organizational resistance to change. How the organizational resistance to any change that is about to introduce. One is a threat to power. See, top level of the managers, they may consider a change as a potential threat to their power. Okay, see, there is some change that is about to introduce. The top level of managers will think that if they will introduce this change, so that will act as a threat to their power and influence in the organization due to which the change will be resisted. So they will start resisting it. So the top level of the managers, owner of the organization, these two are the different individuals. If the owner has this taken a decision to introduce something new in the organization, and the top level of the managers feel like that this will act as a potential threat to their power, and that will influence because of which they will start resisting it. Okay, for example, top management would not like to take steps by which the position of the trade union is strengthened. Okay, so they will think that if they will take a step in this direction to introduce a specific kind of change in the organization. So because of the change, the individuals at lower level of management, they will start forming unions, okay, of with a common mindset, and that's how their power will be strengthened, their power will increase, and when their power will increase, they will start opposing the change, though our powers will be in a threat. So this is also a reason that the top level of management is not accepting any change that is needed to be introduced. Another one is stability of system. It happens that, for example, we talk about demonetization, we talk about GST, we talk about online education when it introduced because of the COVID-19. Okay, and there are certain other, like we have the national education policy. See, we introduced all these policies and the programs with that thought in mind. In future, they will give us a good results. But initially, when all these changes were introduced, what we observed that the stable system has disturbed. We observed a lot of negativity around us. We observed a lot of different thoughts around us. But with the time, we start getting the essence of this change, why this change is needed. Okay, so another reason that the organization will resist the changes because it will cause a little bit disturbance in the system. The stable system is about to disturb. So if the organization is stable, then any change may be perceived as a threat by the organization itself. Okay, change is quite often resisted by the bureaucratic structure where jobs are narrowly defined, lines of authorities are spelled, and the flow of information is stressed from top to bottom. Okay, so that things will happen. Next is resource constraints. Resource constraints will occur. Changes may be resisted by any organization if it lacks some resources which are critical for implementing the change. Okay, there are certain resources which are very important, very needed to implement any change. So if the organization is not having that resources, that time also the change will be resisted. For example, if new technology is adopted, it will require resources to procure machines, buildings, trainings of its personnel, and commensurate expenses on other items too. Okay, you had taken a decision to introduce a new gadget or a new technology in the organization, but you are not having the resources. You're not having the individuals who will work with the new technology. So that time also you will start resisting it. For example, I'm about to introduce a new electronic gadget at my home, but neither of the family member is not aware about the resources needed or the technology needed to to work upon the gadget effortlessly. Okay, so what we will do, we'll start delaying it. Chhodna, we'll purchase it later. We'll purchase it later because we are not ready for the gadget to be introduced because we are not aware about the technology or the resources needed to operate the device or the gadget. Okay, so that is also a reason for resisting the change. Clear? Now moving further, how we can overcome all these changes. Now let's talk about the another part. So another important part says that why is another is overcoming resistance to change is a problem of great importance in introducing organizational change. Unless this problem is overcome properly, the effect of change may not be as functional as envisaged by the management. Okay, so definitely the individual will resist the change, the organization will resist the change. Okay, but if the change is the need of the organization, it have to be introduced. Okay, so the organization will look for the alternatives, like how they can manage the resistance. Okay, so what are the ways the organization can choose to manage the resistance? One way is at the individual level. Suppose at the individual level, they will start providing training and education to the individuals. When the individuals will be trained about the new skills, when they are well educated about the new softwares that are about to introduce, when they actively participate in all the decisions of the organization, they will accept everything that is going on there. Na? So the problem of overcoming resistance to change can be handled at two levels. So it can be handled at two levels, at the individual level and at the level of the group or at the group level. Okay, so there are, because the change is introduced one for the individual and another for the organization or the group. Na? So when they are resisting individually or at a group, so we need to talk about the methods to overcome the changes, to overcome the restriction at both the levels. Okay, so firstly, let's talk at the individual level, like how at the individual level we can overcome this resistance. One is participation. So it's difficult to resist a change decision in which we have participated. Okay, now in our country, what we are having a participative leadership or a democratic leadership. Okay, like all the individuals are having the right to vote and to choose their leader. Okay, so if we are part of a process, okay, we will win or lose. It depends upon the number of votes that our leaders or the competitive leader, opponent leader are getting. But if we are part of a certain procedure, we will not resist it. We will accept it like, okay, for this time, this thing will happen. Or for the next time, the next thing will happen. So it is difficult to resist a change decision in which we have participated. It allows individuals to express their views and opinion. So such participation clear miss. So when you are aware about something that is about to introduce, so that's how your misunderstandings will be clear. Okay, and that's how the resistance will be reduced and the individual will have more acceptance to the change. However, this is not a one-time action, rather, this should be looked upon as a dialogue that continues over a period of time. Okay, so this is not a one-time action. For example, now for something to introduce, the organization has taken a step like they had started organizing a meeting where all individuals will participate. Organization have to follow it on a regular basis, periodic basis, so that you will feel welcomed or you will feel the part of the organization all the time and you will accept all the changes. You will start becoming the part of the changes that are introduced there. Okay. Next is education and training. The management can change the basic values of the people through education and training. Okay, so what the management can do, suppose the management is interested in introducing any change in an organization, so they will take certain steps forward to educate you or train you about all the about all the changes that they're about to introduce. To successfully implement the change, Subordinates must be indoctrinated in new relationship, taught they should be aware about the new skills needed and help to change attitudes. They should be given the information they need to understand where they fit into the picture and how they will be expected to operate under the new setup. Okay, so they will be aware about, they should be provided with good training and the education about the new skills and about the new setups, and the educational process can be aided by training classes, meetings and conferences. Okay, so these different components will help in making the system more familiar and the individual will stop resisting the changes. Okay, building support and commitment. So how it will work when employees fear and anxiety are high. Okay, employees are having a fear that they will lose the job when this new things will be introduced, and they are always unsure about the changes. They are having a fear of losing the job. Okay, and the organization had decided to organize the therapies and the counseling sections and new skill training sections and short paid leave of absence. So that's how you will feel like that the organization is trying to normalize the change for you. Okay, you will feel like the organization is thinking about it because they are arranging the therapies and the counseling sessions for you. Okay, so that's how by building support and by building commitment, organization can overcome the resistance that the individuals are offering to the changes. Okay, so this is another way. Another, and now talking about the group level. So how it will work at the group level, let's talk about it. So what is a group basically? So it's a group of people. Okay, it's a cluster of the person uh, who are part who are connected together because they are having a common interest over a period of time, because they are working on a common project, because they are dealing with a common kind of problem, because they are having a common mindset. Okay, so that's why they come together and start forming a group. Now the members of the group they will interact with each other, and that's how there will be a cohesiveness. Okay, there will be a attachment with each other. Okay, here the manager, if he's thinking like he will talk with the individual and he will try to influence them, and that's how he will overcome the resistance of the change, so that will not work. And the manager have to consider the group. Okay, and the group interactions will there, and that's how it will create social situations that will create some facilities so that the changes will be adapted easily. So this was very well shown by Hawthorne studies. So in the Hawthorne studies, we talk about the same thing now, that the individual visited the Hawthorne and the specific industry there, and he observed like how the individuals are working there, and he started working on. So each individual did not feel free to set up for himself a production quota. It was set and enforced by the group. Workers who deviated significantly in either direction from the group norms were penalized by their co-workers. It happens like you are working in a specific direction, and if at any point you will be deviated from your path, your co-workers will penalize you. Okay, it was found that a person who resists pressure to change his behavior as an individual will readily accept it if the group of which he is a member accept the change. Okay, you as an individual is resisting something, but but the group to which you are associated, if the group has accepted it as a whole, you will definitely accept it. Okay, so that is another strategy of the manager to overcome the resistance to a change. Okay, so therefore, efforts should be swayed equally at individual and the group level to incorporate, so that the necessary changes in the organization will be incorporated easily. Okay, so these are the different ways to overcome the resistance at different levels. Clear? Now moving further. Yeah, so that's how here this particular line, the last line is acting as a conclusion. So their efforts should be weighted equally at, so that's a individual level or at the group level. Effort should be equally important if you want to overcome the resistance towards the change, okay, at the individual level or at the group level, right? So that's all about today's interesting question. See, this question is a different type of question because it's not a direct question. You need to go through your notes once, then you will get to know like how you will be able to frame a good answer for these type of questions. Okay, so this is all about today's session. And at the end, the only thing that I want to tell, if you want more such type of sessions related to the descriptive answer writing, I want you to comment related to that in the comment box after the session. And you also, and with that, you can also mention related to which topic you want me to discuss in the next session, related to which topic. Okay. You have to mention the comment box like the question related to which topic you want me to discuss the next session, and you can connect with me on my Telegram as well, right? So here I'm ending a session for today. We'll meet in the next class with the next topic and the discussions. Okay, bye bye, and all.